Our next speaker is Kirsty Smith, founder of Social Circle. We met Kirsty a few years ago when Social Day used to be a regional event. So we used to go around the country putting on small workshops for 50 to 100 people. We met Kirsty in Birmingham as a delegate. We actually had her on stage a few years ago, and without doubt, she is one of the most popular speakers we have. Everybody loves the session, so I'm sure you're going to absolutely love this. She's going to be talking about the Instagram battle, paid versus organic. So without hesitation, I'm going to pass you over to Kirsty now and enjoy the session.
Right, hello everybody. I just want to point out I've not been able to see any faces or my introduction video, so I hope that I've started in the right place. Thank you, Stuart, for the introduction, and thank you so much for having me back to Social Day for the third year, maybe, or fourth year in a row, so I'm really excited to be here. Very quickly, before I jump into the Instagram battle, I just wanted to give you guys just a very quick overview about me. I'm Kirsty, and I am marketing director at Digital Cake Agency, which is a holistic e-commerce agency based up in Birmingham, so where I met Stuart and Lucy a few years ago, as well as working for Digital Cake as a marketing director. I am also the founder of Social Circle. Social Circle is a collaborative of digital marketers and social media enthusiasts that come together every month to talk about all of the new innovations in the world of social media marketing. And then we present, or we run events where we put out 10 new innovations that have happened every month. So I'm using a lot of the information that we speak about monthly to bring together the talk today. I should also say it's not all my own work. There are a collaborative of us. So thanks to the ladies behind the scene, my fellow Social Circle team members who have helped as well pull together everything for today. So my background, I've spent 10 years now working in digital marketing, specifically with a focus on social media marketing. I guess at the beginning of my career, I've worked across a lot of different style of brands, but mainly looking after leisure retail, which is a fancy word for restaurants and pubs. So managing joint community sizes of around 6 million people, with a team of 10 of us actually delivering the social media and community management strategy. So today I am going to be talking about Instagram, but I'm going to be coming at it not only from a content creation point of view, but I'm really also so passionate about understanding and talking about the importance of the community management and the engagement. So just as much as we're going to be talking about reaching a new audience, we're also going to be talking about how you engage your current audience. So let the battle commence. I do want to point out, I also teach at BCU, and so I'm used to delivering a lot of materials, so a lot of training materials, and I'm going to go super fast. So I've got my counter going now, and I am going to be running through 10 different topics or 10 different areas today. It's going to be quite fast, and I always give away a lot of information, so please feel free to type in any questions and we can pick those up at the end. And we're also in a battle, so I'm really interested as well to hear other people's thoughts on paid versus organic, the tactics that they use and the results that they get from both of these styles of media as well. Okay, so let's go. I should probably also say that I am battling against myself. I am going to be in Team Organic and I'm going to be in Team Paid, and I'm going to be talking about the benefits of both of these. So I'm going to start off with influencer marketing. Now, influencer marketing covers both paid and organic, and the diagram I've popped here on the right-hand side almost explains the different tiers of influencers that you can engage with. Now, we know if you want your brand or business to go out and work with the likes of the Kardashians, you're going to be paying the mega bucks. But there's also a real place in my mind for organic influencer marketing, mainly done right at the bottom of that segment with the nano segment. And this can be done through a gifting strategy. Now, one of the great reasons really to use an organic approach for your influencer marketing, well, not only is it free, it's organic, but I believe that working with those smaller influencers, those nano influencers, they really have the niche in their area. They are the ones that live and breathe and love the thing that they're talking about. And because they have a niche, their audience are a lot more engaged. They are really trusted by their audience. Whereas working with some of the big paid influencers, they're just doing it for the bucks. Where using organic means that you're going to be using people that are really relevant for your brand. As I mentioned, this can be done through gifting, but I would like to point out that it is still a form of advertising. So you would need to declare that as per the ASA regulations, and make sure that if you do use this, you do use the hashtag ad. And you're obviously asking for any permissions if you do then want to use any of the content created by your influencers in any of the means, especially if you do then take them and use them on your adverts, that you've got the relevant permission to do that. So my second point is, okay, so if Team Organic can do it, so can Team Paid. And there are more and more opportunities to work with paid influencers on Instagram. So here I've taken a table or some data here from Clear, which I've referenced at the bottom, in terms of how much you should be looking to either charge yourself or to be spending when arranging your influencer marketing. Now, I could do a whole 25 minutes just purely on influencer strategies, and there's plenty of different ways you can do this. But the main thing that I always think about, and especially when we've got these costs in front of us, is what are you trying to achieve with your influencer marketing? Because loads of my clients come to me and say, but how much should we pay for our influencers? And it really does come back to what it is you're trying to achieve through that strategy. And we'll come on to objectives later. So just some benefits of using paid media for your influencer marketing. I think the biggest thing for me is that gone are the days where you ask influencers themselves for what their reach looks like, what their engagement is like, and how many likes they've had on their post, for instance, because that can all be seen now through a collaborative area within Facebook Business Manager, where you can see it's a branded content area and you can see all of those results live. So you've got full transparency in terms of the engagement that you're getting on those posts, because as we know, everyone has a slightly different way of working out their engagement rates. It's also really transparent for your audience, because it will say paid partnership above the posts, and so from an ASA point of view, you are completely clear and the rules are all being adhered to. I'd also say that working with influencers is great for their reach. You're paying for their reach, you're paying to talk to their audience, but I'd also think about how you can incorporate that IGC, that influencer generated content, back into your organic and your paid strategy. So if you're spending that money for their influencer to talk to their audience on your behalf, ask them for the content and see how you can then weave that back into your ad strategy. There's loads of tools that can help you with this, and I'm sure there's people today that are specifically talking around influencer marketing. But one tool I can recommend for the tracking of your paid activity is Referral Candy. So Referral Candy is an ambassador platform that allows you to track all of those commissions. So if somebody is saying click link in bio or use my code, for instance, it all automatically gets tracked for you. So another great way of making sure that you're seeing that return on investment. Okay, next up, another one for Team Paid. Instagram, fantastic, love it. That's what I'm here to talk about today. But we know there's only so much you can do when you're posting on your feed or your story. It is a broadcast. You are talking to not all of your fans and all of your followers because of the algorithm, but you are talking to everybody. The great thing when you set up your paid ads on Instagram is you can talk to specific people, and you can also be really targeted with your objective of that post. Love Instagram, but there's still no call to action button on any of the organic posts. You only get a swipe up on stories if you've got over 10,000 followers. And still, you can't put a link in the comments. So you can only actually send people anywhere from your posts by linking them through to your bio. The great thing about ads is when you set up your ads and target by objective, you have all those things. You are allowing to have that call to action in the post, for instance. So I would say some benefits of this. You can still set up your ads on your phone and boost from your phone. And it's just a new recent advancement that you don't have to have your Instagram account linked to your Facebook page. But I would say do it properly and set up your ads through your Facebook Ads Manager and link that to your Facebook Business Manager account. As mentioned before, the reason, to do that is that you have a whole suite of targeting options, and it gives you the full suite of options for all of your different ad creatives. When it comes to targeting by objective and why paid is so brilliant is because you can target people to download an app, you can target people to shop, you can target people to watch your video, and you will get, like the graphic I've just popped here as an example, the correct or the relevant call to action button that would drive that traffic directly back to your website, to your event, or to your video. I'd also suggest, top tip, is implement the Facebook pixel for all of that tracking and retargeting. Again, so you can make sure that once you set your objective, that you're hitting those KPIs on the back of that objective. Right, back to Team Organic. Now, this is something that paid do not have, and that is the ability to go live. So going live, I'm sure one or two of you have joined a few lives during lockdown. It has gone crazy out there, and lots of brands have turned to going live recently, especially with the current situation. So I think my top tips in going live is it's absolutely fab. It's really easy to do. You go to your Instagram story and you can navigate to live. When you do go live, it does tell all of your followers that you're going live, so they'll get a notification and it will show up in their story highlights in the first position. Before you go live as well, it will also tell you how many of your followers are currently live in the platform, so you've got a good sense of around about how many people might come to your live event. Now, I love this because it allows you to partner with other brands or other people, and when you do that, it also notifies their followers, so you've got double the amount of people to come to the live event with. Now, something that I think is very underused, just going back to my last slide, is that you can actually add these graphics. So my colleague Katie from Social Circle here has gone live, and when she's added a graphic, it's actually made hers smaller. So this is a really great way if you do want to present a webinar or an event and you've got some visual assets that you want to use, you can use those as part of your event or as part of your live. When you do add somebody else into the live, it squashes it up. So they'll be at the bottom and you'll be at the top, so it still works. It also allows for filters. I also think that another great reason to bite the bullet and go live, as cringy as it may be, and as you know, it is hard work and it is nerve-wracking, but at the end of it, you've got a long-form piece of content. It saves automatically into IGTV, and you've got that piece of content forever. So it isn't here today and gone tomorrow. It is a piece of content that you can keep on your Instagram forever. It doesn't need to be high quality, but my top tip would be that it does need promoting. Just because it's so easy to access, you still need to have that pre-event plan. You still need to let all your followers know it's happening. You still need to tell your database, treat it like a real event. Just because you're going live doesn't mean people are going to turn up. Right, number 5, let's keep going. Back to Team Paid, and we're going to talk about using paid story ads. Now, I've put this in here to remind me, but to remind you all that just because it's an advert, remember it's all in the name. It's an Instagram story, and it is so important that you are making sure that you are telling a story and creating creative that is suitable for the platform you're using. So I love this creative here because you can see that it's 5 frames and it is telling a story using the creative. You have to tap through to find out what happens at the end. So my key points for paid stories is that it's really immersive. You get that full screen format. So you are taking up the whole screen and it can be used across all of those objectives. So like I mentioned earlier, if you set the objective of app installs, it helps you get app installs. If you want to generate leads, it can swipe up and there'll be a form to generate the leads directly in the platform. Another thing to really consider is that when you're setting up your ads in Ads Manager and you choose the story placement, please, please, please change the creative format so it fits for a story. What I hate to see is when you're flicking through your stories and it's an ad and it's so lazy because it's a square because they've just taken their other Instagram creative. So make sure you're using the formats provided. So 60% of ads are viewed with the sound on. So the sound or the music should also be a huge consideration in your creative. You can swipe up. So if you're a smaller brand and you don't have the 10,000 followers, creating ads will let you swipe up to then hit your website, for instance. Something that people don't know, but you can actually use the interactive polls on your ads as well, which I really like because it gives the signals to the algorithm that people are engaging with your ad, which will hopefully make it cheaper for you. You can also have up to 120 seconds worth of video on your ads, which is different to organic where you only get 15. Okay, so loads of great benefits from a paid story point of view, but organic stories, this is where I could spend a whole 30 minutes just talking about these. There are so many tactics that you can deploy organically to engage with your audience. So even though they're only there for 24 hours and they don't have to be high production value, I think we've always got to remember that we do have highlights to save our stories into. So making them look great and tell the story of your brand is really essential. A few bullets down here on the left, but I should probably point out that your highlights or your Instagram profile, when somebody lands on it, almost needs to act like a landing page on your website. Think about your story highlights and what you would want somebody discovering your brand or your business for the first time to see on them. So make sure you are doing the about your brand or you're doing frequently asked questions and make sure that they're there. I'd also suggest that, or this is a top tip that people don't know about, you can actually send a full highlight to somebody. So if you're working with a new client and you wanted them to watch back a video that you've done, for instance, you could just send them that whole highlight to read through or watch through. GIFs is another great thing you can do organically. So Facebook has recently bought Giphy. So I'm not quite sure what's going to happen here, but it does mean that the Giphy GIF library pulls through into Instagram and into Facebook. So as a brand and a business, you can upload GIFs and then search them in the GIF library and use them on your stories and encourage your customers or your fans and followers to do the same. Loads of stickers you can use for engagement. I've had to write them all down. I'm going to whip through them. You've got polls, you've got questions, you've got hashtag stickers, you've got app mention stickers, and you've got the sliding scale. So there's plenty of room to be creative. So much support for new business as well from an organic Instagram story point of view. Recently, over the last few months, they've integrated some new functionality or new stickers, including the ability to order a takeaway, so great for small restaurants, being able to purchase gift vouchers from certain partners. And there's a small business sticker that you can share just to drive people to different small businesses that you like working with or you personally follow. And then more recently, they have launched a personal fundraising sticker as well. So taking on the likes of Just Giving, for instance, to be able to fundraise directly through the platform. Oh, I'm going to keep going due to time, but other things, hashtagging, making sure that you use relevant hashtags because people do follow hashtags. You can tag people into your stories. And another one which I absolutely love and not a lot of people know about is you can share people's feed posts to your story by using the little envelope underneath. So fab to do something like a Follow a Friday and then just share loads of different people's pictures. So no excuse not to create loads of engaging content through organic Instagram stories. Right, number 7, team paid again. So team paid do allow, and creating paid ads allows you to segment and target your ideal audience. Now, this could be segmenting your current audience and creating campaigns or version of your ad creative to show to different audiences by location or by interest, for instance. So you can do it with your current audience. But we all know the great thing about paid media, and we can't deny it, and organic can't give us, is it gives you the ability to pay to reach more people. So when you are setting up your ads and you're looking to reach more people, we like to think about segmenting in these 3 different ways. Think about segmenting by core audience. So that's people that you are choosing via interest. Custom audiences are also awesome to use. So this allows you to create audience using a third-party data file. So that could be, for instance, people that have already visited your website, could be people that have signed up to your database, for instance. And then finally, lookalike audiences. So finding that audience that looks like your current audience. That again could be people that look like your current Instagram following. It could be people that look like those who have purchased on your website. So this is something that I can't deny organic cannot do. It is finding business and making sure that they see the content. Now I'm going to move on to organic shopping. So something that organic is brilliant at and is getting better at, the ability on Instagram to have your own shop. So to have your own shop on Instagram, you need to have an e-commerce platform and a catalog manager that allows you to pull your products into the organic shop. The shoppable product feed essentially allows you to have an image, a name and a description, a cost of your product, and then a link back to your website to purchase. It is in beta, and we say this every month in Social Circle, but Facebook Shops has launched and Facebook Pay has launched, which is going to allow people to be able to buy directly through Instagram. But for now, it's still driving people back to the website to purchase. Great thing about this organically is that you can tag your products into your feed posts, and also you can tag your products onto your stories. So a really immersive way of introducing your products into your content strategy. So organic is great, but is paid shopping better? Well, from a paid shopping point of view, following those objectives again that we talked about before, you can use your ads to drive people down the sales funnel even more and create content to take them on that journey. There's a clear call to action on these ads, and they click through to directly through to a website. I guess the other great thing is, from an organic point of view, you're only really reaching those that follow you. Through Team Paid's point of view, this is reaching that target audience and putting those products in front of them. Plenty of awesome ad formats as well. So the one that we've got playing here on the right hand side is a collection ad format. So it is showing somebody using the product in context and then linking the products that have been used underneath. And then thinking right back to the beginning when we talked about influencers, again, using Team Paid, ads like this, and using your influencers together is also a really great strategy. Okay, we're nearly there. I'm on to my 10th point, which is about the use of content. So I'm going to talk you, or actually show you, a very, very quick 30-second video on the concept of pitch, play, and plunge, which is a Facebook concept, which obviously covers all of the Facebook platforms. But let me just show you the video.
Pitch, play, breakthrough with short form.
Oh, do apologise. I don't believe that it is working, but that's okay because I have another slide on it. Essentially, the premise of pitch, play, plunge is that you would pitch your idea with a short form piece of content to garner someone's excitement, introduce the brand to somebody new. You would then show them a play piece of content, which might be something a little bit more in depth, something that takes them further on that journey. And then finally, you'd give them a plunge piece of content, which would be maybe a longer form piece of content, which would be a little bit more immersive. So the concept here really, I wanted to say, doesn't belong to Team Organic or Team Paid. It actually is Team both. So no matter whether you are using paid or organic tactics, please make sure you are thinking about that user journey that you are taking all the way through. Take them all the way through that journey. And with that, I have just got 4 minutes left. So I'm going to wrap up now for questions, but I just wanted to leave you with one final thought. We've talked about tactics. Well, I've talked about tactics and paid and organic tactics, but at Digital Cake, we have a methodology, and I didn't want to leave without talking about strategy, because really the tactics happen at the end. We believe that you should lay your foundations, understand your brand, your messaging, your objectives and your audience before building your brand house, which includes making sure your website or your content hub is fit for purpose and optimized, and then finally invite people in. So I've talked about the inviting people in and immersing people in the brand and driving them, driving those marketing tactics into your website, but we need to make sure that all of that is in place before you start any of these tactics. So I want to say thank you very much if you've enjoyed listening to the social media advancements and tactics that I've talked about today. Every month, Social Circle takes place the last Thursday of the month, and we also wrap it all up into the Social Circle podcast, which is then shared monthly as well with myself and my colleague Sally. And with that, I want to say thank you for listening, and let's open up for any questions you have. Thank you very much.
Hey there, Kirsty, how are you? Yeah, good. I can't see you on the screen with me, so hopefully, there we go. That's better. Great session.
Okay.
Really great feedback in the app. And I've actually got a few questions if you're all right to answer those.
Yeah, do you want me to do them live, or do I do them in the app?
So we can do them here, actually. We've got a couple of minutes. We've got 8 minutes before we need to welcome our next speaker. So one of the questions is about accessing influencers' results on Facebook Business Manager. How do you actually get access to this?
Okay, so there's branded content section. So I'm trying to visualize it in my mind. So if you go to the business settings in Facebook Business Manager, and there's a whole branded content area, and that's where you would set up that partnership. I hope that helps, but it might be one that I have to go and do some screen grabs and come back and show you.
And another one is Referral Candy, and how does that exactly work?
Okay, so Referral Candy is an app that we use and integrate with Shopify stores. So I would need to check up on other platforms that it would integrate with. But essentially, when somebody has a Kirsty 10 for 10% discount, for instance. So if I was selling these mugs and I was an influencer, I would say, use my code Kirsty20, and it tracks all of the traffic from that code and works out all of the commissions. I might make 5% on every sale sold, for instance, and it does all of that for you, so you don't have to do it. It automates it rather than you have to do everything manually.
Brilliant. So it might be a bit of background noise here. I'm actually live in HQ because we've got all of the rooms are free. So apologies if there's any people asking for coffee orders in the background.
No. Hi guys. I can only. Sorry, Stuart. I can't actually see anybody. Should I be able to see anybody? I feel like I'm talking to myself, but I don't mind. I can hear you.
There's not much to look at, if I'm honest, Kirsty. So I think you're probably best off seeing yourself. The other question we have for you is about influencers and the best way to find specific influencers for relevant brands, and then how do you actually go about engaging with them?
Yeah, okay. Oh, this one is tricky because it does really depend on the brand or the business. There are platforms out there to help you identify influencers. So there are platforms, for instance, where influencers can sign up and you can put onto the platform almost like a pitching process. You'll say, this is my brief, and influencers will come back and almost apply for you. So there are platforms like that out there that do that, but it depends again on those nano influencers or those macro influencers, because there's different platforms for each of those different stages. if it is the nano influencers that you're after, I would go back to, I think I mentioned it, or it was in one of my bullets. I'd start by looking at who's currently following you. I'd actually go through everybody that's following me and who's engaging with me and start there. So if they're already engaging with the brand, that's a great place to start. They already love your brand or your business. Have a look at how many followers they've got. And it also just comes down to good old research, getting yourself in the platform. If you're immersed in your brand and your business, you're probably following a lot of these people anyway. I would look at people that are following my competitors and go that way. So yeah, loads of different ways you can find people really. Also good old Google, top 10 people to influencers in the travel industry, etc. So depends on your budgets, depends on the size of influencers and the overarching strategy.
Brilliant. And one final question from Jennifer Gilmore. How do you add an image to a live on Instagram? And she wants to know where your pink jumpsuit is.
Oh no, I'm not wearing the jumpsuit today, am I? But I don't know. Yeah, where is my pink jumpsuit? I didn't want to wear the same thing twice. I mean, who does that? So back to my first question, but thank you for remembering the jumpsuit. Back to the first question. How do you add? Okay, so you go live. And then when you go live, at the bottom, you'll see a little icon with almost like a document on it. When you click that, it opens up your photo library. So you do have to have your slides or graphics saved as in your photo library. And then you just select them. You select them from there. So that does work. Like I said, if you've got a split screen, it will show in the top screen, or if it's just yourself, it will show on your screen and make you really small. I should also mention another thing on Instagram stories that people forget to do is always pin a comment. Sorry, Instagram lives. So if someone joins your live 5 minutes in, they know exactly what you're talking about, especially if you're doing a Q&A with someone. So we always, at the beginning of ours, pin a comment to say, welcome to Social Circle September. We're taking you through 10 new advancements in social media. And that way, if someone randomly joins, they know exactly what they're getting into as well.
Brilliant.
I hope that makes sense. Yeah.
Kirsty, some fantastic advice there for everybody. And if people want to get in touch with you, they can go and sign up for Social Circle, can't they? I know you saw some slides.
Yeah, so I'm sorry, I gave everybody about 1 million different options. So we're a Social Circle meetup on Instagram. Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn is Social Circle Meetup. In its Twitter, it's just Social Circle _ because of the character count. I should have thought about that. And then I am Kirsty CM Smith on LinkedIn as well. And I think I've also put my email addresses and everything on the slides too.
Brilliant.
So yeah, I'm free.
Kirsty,
Any questions as well.
Brilliant. And Kirsty, please, thank you for taking the time to come and present again for the third year running. We always love having you on stage, and everybody always loves your sessions. So when you get and have a look at the socials and the chat in the app, I think you'll see everyone's really enjoyed the session. So,
good. Yeah, thank you so much for having me, Stuart. Absolutely love it, and I can't wait to be with you guys again in person. And I'll promise I'll wear a jumpsuit next time.
Well, it just leaves me now to say thank you once again and give you a round of applause. Thank you, Kirsty Smith.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. Thanks, guys.
Brilliant. So go check out Social Circle and go follow Kirsty on LinkedIn, etc. Always a wealth of knowledge. Next up, we're going to talk about how to engage your customers through Instagram stories. So following the Instagram theme,